Hey, hello friends, welcome back. Welcome to the third video with regards to Confluence. And in today's session, we are gonna talk about one of the additional feature, which is page properties present in Confluence. And as discussed in our previous video, Confluence is a collaborative tool, helps manage our documents, help people to collaborate with a single space altogether. So in this particular page property macro, which is a feature from Confluence, what this can do for us. So for example, let's take what's a requirement. So we have, like you might have noticed in the last session, we created risk pages. So that means we have different risk pages and those are tracked. Each risk is presented at different page. And maybe that can be like, for example, if someone is tracking action items for a team and each team member has his own page where he or she is tracking their action item. Right, so if you want to consolidate all of these action items together at the parent page and want to see what my whole team is doing and put it into a tabular form, so we can achieve that by using the macro page properties. Right. Okay, so there's one note that we need to keep in mind while we are consolidating the data from different child pages, from different pages managed by different people within our team. We need to make sure we are following some standardized templates over there, right? So we have discussed about how we can create the standard template in the previous video. So please do watch if you have any kind of questions or queries with regards to how we can create a standard template for the whole complete team. Now, this is a scenario, an example that we'll be discussing where this is very much in line to my previous two examples. So just to maintain a continuity, I'm using the same example over here as well. So we have three project managers, Jasmine, Donald, Kerry, and they are working on project ABC, worked by Jasmine, XYZ, worked by Donald. We have CDE, worked by Kerry, right? So what Jasmine does is Jasmine uses our standard template tracker, and what she does, she creates individual risk pages. When I say that, that means there are two risks created by Jasmine. And similarly, we have Donald who creates R1, R2 to different risks for his project. And then we have Kerry where she tracks her risk in the same form, right? So what we need to do is we need to consolidate the information that is R1, R2 and bring a consolidated view at this page. And similarly, we do the same thing for Donald and Kerry. And then we need to bring all of these risks consolidated at the program level. So this is I would say, a fantastic example from the program governance perspective, where we look forward having standardization, having consolidation of the information so that we have a seamless flow of information, and it is an automated way of getting the information. That means we have just one source, which is the project managers who is filling the details, and the same is cascaded from the bottom, from the project pages to the program view. So this is the whole scenario, and let's get started with the demo. How are we going to achieve this? Let's go back. Okay, so this is my I would say the free version of Confluence that I'm using from the Confluence site. Maybe even you can just register and start exploring this particular tool and the various features that it has within it, right? So we notice over here, like as discussed, Donald, the project manager for ABC, he has created tourist test 1, test risk 1, and test risk 2. And similarly, we have Jasmine, where even she has done the same thing. 1, 2. And these risks are created using this create from template button, where, if you remember from the last session, we have mapped our template for risk with this button. So as soon as someone clicks over it, they automatically create a page which is following the same standard template, right? So what are we going to do over here is I'm going to explain it in two different ways. One is, for example, we have this test risk 2, right? And what we want to do is, let me do this. Okay, let's not use this example. Let's create a new risk altogether. So maybe that will be a better way. Okay, so add risk. It creates a page, and we put a number to it, maybe Jasmine, maybe test risk 3, and this is Jasmine XYZ. Sorry for that. XYZ. This is a third risk, and we remove the other projects, the links to other projects over here, and just keep what is there for Jasmine. And risk name is test risk 3. Description. Description for test risk 3. Severity, we have the status macro. Let's put as severity is low, and response mitigate. Comments for test risk 3. And what I'm going to do is I'll just take this off for now. Let's remove this. So this is how it looks like. And one more thing, what I'm going to do is, great. Okay, so we have just added a risk now. So now we want to use a page property macro, and maybe I will just perform the task now, and later you can see how beautifully it collects the information from different pages and brings it up together in a tabular form. Let's see how we can do it. So we add a macro called as page properties. Okay, we just insert it. Great. And we just take this table and paste it within this. And I take this and this up. Okay, so we have added this page property macro, and inside that macro we have added our table, which consists of these information with regards to risk 3. Right, and the next thing what we're going to do is we are going to add a unique identifier for this particular risk, right? And what is the unique identifier? So we have something called as labels in Confluence. So we add a label and we say risk. So we're adding this label now, and we click on add, close, right? And we publish this page. Right, you see we have added a label, and how this label helps us I will just explain in a while, like why we are using this. So let me just standardize the name of this, and so that it matches to the other risk that we are using. Great. Right, so now if you just notice, similarly we have added two more risk over here, risk 2. Even this has a label of risk, and if you notice it is within this page property macro, and the same is with this as well. So what we are going to do is, so now we have these three risks over here, and for Jasmine, and then we for Donald similarly we have uh, two of these risks, and then for Kerry, even for Kerry we have these two risks, right, which follows the same thing. We have a risk label. So now if we want to consolidate all of these risks, and maybe we want to see a consolidated view at the parent level, how we can do that. So I want to see all the risk from Donald, Project, Jasmine, and Carrie underneath this. So to retrieve this information from page property macro, what we do is we use another macro to call the information, which is page property report. And if we click on this, so it asks for the label that we have used. So remember we add a unique label to the pages. So the label name was risk. So the same label has been added to all the pages, and we are and the pages from where and the pages where we are looking at this particular label is situated in this current space. Now, what all columns do we want to see? Right, so what all information are we looking at? So like our page has a risk ID, we have the project name, we have the risk name, we have the description. Okay, so just this do we need to say? Okay, let's see if we can. Okay, great. So what we've done over here is let me show you. Let's pull up one of the risk. So great. Okay, so so let's do this. Okay, so I'm just opening. Yeah, so what I've done is I've just opened up one of the risk. So if you just notice, we have this risk ID, project name, risk name. So the field over here, the columns to show, the column names should be an exact match to this, right? It's only then it will be able to pull the information which is present over here, right? And all of the, and we can import multiple columns. It should be separated by a comma, and maybe number of items to display, I would say for now 100. Okay, and we say, yeah, if we want to sort, we have sorted, reverse sort. So we are just doing a default sort. That means any list which is updated, the which has the latest update will come on the top, and we'll click on insert. Right, so I just published this page now. If you notice, what has happened is it has automatically pulled all of the risks from different project space, right? So you have these titles of the risk, you have the risk IDs, you have the project names from which these risks are imported, and what is the risk name and what are the description, right? Similarly, we can cut short this information, as well as we can pull in more information if it is present in this particular page, right? It's like 1 2 3 4. So for example, we want to pull severity, so we can add severity over here, right? So how do we do that? We come over here again, go to this macro, we edit it, and then we go to options, and we want to see severity. So maybe we can add it over here, right? I'm just okay, and we can just preview if we are getting this information or not. Yes, great. And when we publish, the same. Here we go. And the best part is now we have got a consolidated view, and we have got a consolidated view of all the risk over here now, that you see over here with the severity, and as and when the project managers update this risk, the same is automatically reflected over here, right? So let's go a step back now. So what you would have noticed is within this risk register, right? So we have these risks being added. So what I did, I have added this the page property macro manually at the moment. But what we can do is we can, within our template that we created in our previous lesson, we can add this page property macro to our template itself, and we can even add the labels to our template. So what happens is whenever we add a particular risk, the risk template automatically comes up with the page property macro as well as with the label. And so we just need to have the page property report macro, which automatically pulls up this information. So what I'm saying is, so maybe this is will be a repetition of our what we did in our last session. So within this template, we come over here, we have the source register template that we created. We'll click on edit. And if you just notice, we have added a page property macro. And after within that, we have also added a label, which is a risk label. Click on that. And now as and when we add a risk using create from template macro, it will automatically pick up this template with the page property macro plus the label attached to it, which makes our life more easy. That means when I say it makes our life more easy, means it makes it easy for us to consolidate this information, because you don't have to add page property macro to each and every risk page, because it will be a part of which will automatically get pulled by using this particular macro. So it's just matter of um, calling up the page property report macro and calling up the label that we have used over here. Right? Sounds interesting, right? Yes, it is. It really makes life quite easy, and definitely this helps us to create a consolidated view at the program and project level. So that's really helps. Okay, so that's all for today's session with regards to page property. Keep watching this my videos for Confluence, and do share your feedback. And if you like these videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.